and I was on mute. Good morning. Welcome to the Pitchline Chronicles. I am Uncle Tats, and it has just been a hectic morning. First of all, Donald will be here shortly, as we apologize for the tardiness. As you know, it's just been hectic. And the other thing that's been hectic is when you look at overall the no, it's too early for that, Doran. I'll tell you that, believe me. That will be later this evening after work. But the other thing that's been hectic is the first half of the Yankee season, because just as we've always experienced over the last few years, there's the ups, the downs, and everything in betweens, and who's being traded, who should be extended, and it's just going to be a topic that's going to be circling around for the next couple of weeks. All-Star break, yeah. Well, look, if I didn't have to go to work later, then I would definitely enjoy a cold one at this point, even at this time of the day, as it is only 10 a.m. in New York. But it's when you look at the Yankee season, when I look at the Yankee season overall, and when Donald gets here, we're going to be going through our midseason awards. So I know you guys all enjoy the awards. We'll be doing it in the same format as we do our awards for the series that get played. This way you guys can all enjoy it. I know it's something that a lot of you guys enjoy. So the biggest question that is going to come about, and that's something that I've been thinking of, is the term all in. And when you think of the term all in, are you really going all in if you're not leaving everything on the table? Like if you're saying, oh, the Yankees need to go all in, but they can't get rid of that person, then you're not going all in. That's something I really believe that. I think they need to be aggressive. And I think that's the best way to look at it, is you want Cashman to be aggressive, not all in. Because all in means that you would have to give up a Jones, a Lombard, and some of these key guys, a Warren. So I think the all-in approach from Cashman, I don't think that's really what the fans want. I really don't. Are you going to, all in means trading key pieces that are instrumental to what we're doing this year? If a team calls up and says, well, we want Ben Rice, are you giving up Ben Rice? And they always say it's, if the package is right, then you might not, you might just have to pull the trigger on it. And it's just not something I don't think fans really want to do. I think it's just going to be one of these, we want Cashman to be aggressive and improve the roster while still looking at the long game of, we need to hold on to certain pieces if we want any success that we're able to build be sustainable. So I think that's really where we're at. And just to give a quick shout out to everybody that is hanging out in the chat, as Donald is getting himself set up to come in. Let's
hey!
Let's give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat. Let Donald get himself all settled in. It's a really hectic morning. We got Doran, how you doing? We got Mr. Barrels. We got El Go. I'm gonna screw this up, but I apologize. El Guap Yankees. We got Deb Finch hanging out with us every day. Egyptian Magician. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. How you been, bro? John the Beagle Dad, Jonathan, NFE is hanging out with us as well. Lou, what's up? Now, Donald, before we get into the awards, I know we're on tight schedules today, unfortunately. And it's it's a disservice to our friends.
I'm pouring coffee all over myself.
Bro, I thought I was having a rough morning. You're killing it.
Here we go.
You kicked me off my throne, bro. I came in with the way that we're phrasing as we approach the trade deadline and with the first half of the Yankee season. saying that Cashman needs to go all in. And I think if you're steadfast on going all in, that means that everybody is available for a trade or a move. As opposed, so if you want Cashman to go all in, a trade might need to be a Spencer Jones or a Lombard. You may need to move pieces that you really don't want to, as opposed to the approach that I want to take is the Yankees just need to be aggressive. Where
more interested in the old lady in the 1980s that got $3 million for pouring hot McDonald's coffee on herself.
I remember that. I actually do remember that.
What would that be in 2025? It'd be like $6 million or something. That's a lot of money.
Oh, you probably, you're looking at maybe 10.
Muchos dinero. I said, maybe if things get really bad for our podcast, we'll need to pour hot coffee over ourselves. I can't. What's up?
I do that enough on my own. I spill shot. But do you agree with the premise that if you're screaming the Yankees need to go all in, then you can't complain if they have to move somebody that you don't want to in a move? I think that's just a phrase that we throw out there without realizing what all in really means.
I agree with the concept. I'm just not sure whether this is the year to be actually going all in, frankly.
Well, it's your correction to one of my points on the last show. The all in year was last year.
That was last year for me.
Yeah.
This year, I'm really hesitant about that. As I say, we're a very mediocre team. Yeah. We look better than we are because we're in the American League. If we were in the National League, we would be sellers. That's just frank, being honest. And that's not going to the fan base. That's aimed at actually the organization because they're the ones that tell us how brilliant they are. But in reality, they're not. Whenever they face a decent team that actually have a grasp at how to play fundamental baseball, the Yankees can't compete. They completely fall apart. I mean, listen, they fell apart against the Red Sox. They fell apart against the Blue Jays. You know what I'm saying? They fell apart against the Orioles. They've been falling apart. They fell apart against the Dodgers, the Cubs. Basically, any team that has any kind of semblance of an organization beats the hell out of the Yankees this year. You know what I'm saying? We'll beat up on the bad teams, as A-Rod said on the Michael Kay show. We'll beat up on the bad teams. It's just when we face like a semi-decent team, we're going to lose. So is that really the year to be going all in? Not for me, because I don't believe we're a third baseman away from winning a championship.
No, we're really a third baseman.
Yeah, we're multiple starters. We're a third baseman. We're a couple of
one starter. I would say 3 relievers.
Yeah, a shortstop, a third baseman, multiple relievers, and multiple starters away from winning the championship this year. I just don't want to put the kibosh in anyone's enjoying looking forward to Yankee baseball. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to add a little bit of realism to the conversation. That's not to say I don't think this Yankee team is good enough to maybe make an ALCS if everything goes their way. It's possible. I just don't think much beyond that. And even if they did make it to a World Series, they're not going to win it because they're just not as good as the teams in the National League. So I would say last year was the team. Last year was the year to do it. They failed to do it because Brian Cashman, he doubled down on Verdugo. You know what I'm saying? He doubled down on Clay Holmes, and that was to our detriment. And you know what I'm saying? If he made the right bullpen move, added an infielder to help at third base, then I think the Yankees would have won the World Series. Well, I don't know. I would say that, but Aaron Boone's our manager, so.
But maybe we can put him on the needs list. We need a shortstop. We need a third baseman. We need relievers. We need a starter. We need a manager.
I mean, a manager, yeah.
But here's somebody else that we really haven't picked on, and I think he needs to start really being called out. What's going on with our hitting coach? Why isn't he working with these guys to make adjustments, especially guys like Volpe? especially to one of the things that A-Rod was alluding to that you mentioned with K. And it's his swing. Like, why is everybody but the organization seeing the problem? And I think that's really what drives our frustration. We don't hate Volpe. Look, we root for the uniform. If you're in our uniform, we're gonna have your back.
I kind of hate him,
but it only goes. It goes to a certain point where if you're not trying to improve yourself, there's nothing we can do. Our cheering won't help. We're not going to give you what they did in Philly, where we're just going to report. We're going to clap for you just because you showed up today and try to boost, your confidence. It doesn't work like that. Not in this town.
It's because it's actually an organizational thing, man.
Yeah.
That's because how many hitting coaches have we been through? We had Marcus Thames.
I think the last good hitting coach we had that really worked with the guys is probably Kevin Long.
I like Kevin Long, but they got rid of him for this organizational philosophy that I'm not actually sure works. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, imagine working with your players to improve them. What a concept.
Right. Because if you're talking about a good hitting coach, that's A-Rod. That's Aaron Judge's coach. Aaron Judge's hitting coach is excellent. Because that's the guy that worked with Ben Rice, and Ben Rice now looks like a completely different player than he did last year. I'm telling you, it's a Yankee organizational thing, man. They're very much about exit velo, according to Mike Fishman's analytics, by the exit velo and uppercut swings. That's why Anthony Volpe has lost about 60 points on his batting average, and that's where we're at. So until the Yankees fix their organizational thing, I'm not going to look at the hitting coach. I mean, it's their decision. You know what I'm saying? They're very much in line with whatever Mike Fishman says. Mike Fishman is a problem. They need to get rid of Mike Fishman as well. So add manager Mike Fishman, but Ben Hart is shortstop, third base. I mean, I know I'm coming across as a bit negative. I'm not saying that this Yankee team isn't going to do okay in the playoffs, and maybe the right move at third base could improve their ceiling a little bit, but I have to be realistic. Until the Yankees make real changes to the way that they run the ship,
rinse and repeat.
Then it's going to be rinse and repeat. They need to. They failed to really sit down and look at themselves in the mirror and say, what can we do better? Why is Anthony Volpe so bad in year 3? You know what I'm saying? Instead of blaming the media, instead of blaming the fans, why don't you just look at yourselves and go, what can we do better to make this guy better? Instead of telling us that he's the best player in baseball, why not just sit down and just look at it going, right, okay, none of this is good, right? This is serious. Everyone else is saying there's a problem, but we don't. So maybe the problem is us. And if they actually took that responsibility, I think this team would be better. You know what I'm saying? If they actually held their manager to some kind of standards, then that would be a positive step as well. I really don't think the Yankees are far away. As I keep saying, I actually think next year this team could win the World Series. In fact, be possibly favorites next year if they make the right moves. And it doesn't even have to be anything major, like one major free agent signing, and maybe change the situation in the front office. I'm not even saying necessarily get rid of Brian Cashman, but I would say get rid of Mike Fishman and get rid of the manager. And I think this team would be World Series favorites. I do that. I like there's a nice nucleus here.
Yep.
And just a little bit more work.
I'm asking you this question. I'm also asking, everybody in the chat. And if you're enjoying the chat, hit that like button. If you want to join the chat, it's very easy. Just hit that sub button and you can join in on any conversation on any show, and share this out, of course. So it's, if you had to give an overall grade of the Yankees in the first half.
Good one.
Right? And that's include, you take every aspect of a baseball season and you bundle it up and you're like, all right, how do I feel the Yankees did this first half? What grade would you give?
You see, I actually had the Yankees predicted to win about 89 games. 88, 89 games, I believe I had them in that range, right?
I think I had 94 to my prediction.
Right. So, I mean, it looks like it's closer to the 88, 89 range. They might sneak 90. So considering my expectations were of that, can I be that disappointed considering they're basically the same team that I predicted they would be?
Well, that doesn't mean they get a high grade because they're
right. No. I don't want to give them a high grade, but I don't want to give them necessarily a low grade either because they're kind of right in line with expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, the grade that kind of jumps out to me is a C plus, B minus. Like I think
I was going to think of B minus.
Yeah, like I could see a B minus, C plus. Like the fact that we're in second place is kind of embarrassing. The fact that we're tied with wins in Boston is pretty embarrassing too. Their stretch has been very embarrassing. So that's why I'm probably going to edge closer to C plus. But yeah. I mean, it's still above average. It's been above average. It's not been good, but it's been above average.
Well, there's a reason why I'm leaning more into the B. Right? And I went B minus because they did fall out of first place. But here are the things that I took into consideration. Okay. The acquisitions in the offseason have, to this point, lived up to their billing. Goldschmidt's been amazing. Bellinger's been amazing. Fried has been amazing. And they actually came to their senses sooner rather than later before the trade deadline and cut ties with DJ.
That's true.
Those are the things that went from C plus to B minus, because you can see where the acquisitions, the pivot from Soto is paid off.
Yeah,
and the fact that they didn't wait till after the deadline to make that drastic and big of a roster move with LeMahieu. So that's where I gave the organization in the first half more of a higher grade. Do you agree or disagree?
Actually, no, that makes sense, man. As I say, basically before June, you could argue that this team was an A because they played above expectations in many ways, especially.
Look at the first 2 months. Oh, definitely A.
Yeah, like it was an A. It was an
A grade, with the exception of Williams. But even Williams is, he's figured it out a little bit. I think it's a while to get comfortable.
As much as I'm enjoying trashing him,
yeah.
He had a really good start to the year. Like Aaron Boone was really good. Anthony Volpe was really good. So it was like up until June, like the season was looking okay, and then it's kind of just done what they normally do, and that's probably why I'm a little bit harsher on them than maybe it's fair. It's tough though. It's tough. It's probably been just because of the frustration that they're getting their asses handed to them by everybody in the AL East, which says to me that this team isn't actually
that's the problem.
And that's why I'm giving it a C plus, because I mean, if they're beating up on teams in the AL East but losing, say, to all the National League teams or all the teams maybe in the other leagues, and maybe you kind of give them a break, just going, hey, at least we're the best of the best in the American League East. I can't even say that. So that's why I'm a little bit harsher on them. They've done so poorly against the AL East, so bad.
Are we really better than the Tigers at this point?
No.
Are we playing better than the Astros? No. Boston's on a run. We had the perfect opportunity with that 1 week with 6 games to just put them out of the equation. And we're like, no, come on, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room on the postseason. There's plenty of room on the bus. Everybody hop on board. And I think that's the biggest problem. Yeah, so they're sitting 2 games out of first place. They're in first for the first team for the wild card. Is that really where you want to be sitting when you just came off a World Series run? No. You should have.
My biggest problem with Aaron Boone is because we just don't have that killer instinct anymore with him as manager. We just don't have that killer instinct. We actually were that Red Sox series away from running away with the American League East.
Yeah.
We were. We would have killed the Red Sox season, and we would have catapulted ourselves forward and would have been first place right here, right now, had we had that killer instinct against the Red Sox. But they took that series so unseriously that not only did it give the Red Sox momentum, it killed ours, and then it gave hope to everybody else around them. And then it's just falling apart. That's why, these games do matter. You know what I'm saying? So this, the Yankees,
Whether
like,
it's April or
philosophy is like,
August,
I'll be
the
fine. We'll
record
get him
matters.
tomorrow. We'll get him tomorrow. It's cool. Who cares? I'll just run myself off this base. It doesn't really matter. That does actually matter, because at the end of the day, momentum is real in every freaking franchise. Momentum is real. The Red Sox are talking about momentum right now. They've won 10 straight. So obviously momentum is real. So yeah, my overall grade right now would be a C+. You're going B-. Let's have a look and see what we got in the chat, because we didn't really pay attention enough to the chat the last time. Feel kind of bad about that, so we got to do better this time. Well, Duran has got lots of comments, so let's.
Yeah, Doran's on a roll.
He is on a roll, so it's only fair to give him a shout out. Yankees have a realistic shot to start 2026 with some really good young players filling key spots in the lineup. Completely agree. That's why I think 2026 is the year. Could you dig it? All right, let's go. Wells, first base. No, Wells catcher. Rice first. Jazz second. Volpe short. Cabrera third. I think we need a better third baseman. Jason left. Jones center. Judge right. DH Big G. So basically no changes. I think they need a proper third baseman.
I don't see an upgrade there in the lineup.
I think they need a proper third baseman, bro. And I would like another move. So for instance, by the way, where's Bellinger?
See, that's like, I could see if, like, going into next year, you don't have Goldschmidt. It's a 1 year. I don't think he's going to be back. So you get every ounce of him that you can this year.
No, we need
not having Bellinger in a starting lineup is that's. Oh, he thinks he's opting out. Fair enough.
Cody in first. A proper third baseman at third, so say Eugenio Suarez, just for shits and giggles, and then Ben Rice can rotate between DH, first, and catcher. Bellinger can switch between first and center. That would actually make sense, and that would be a good team. But it's all about what you do with the starting rotation as well. But I like your thinking, and I agree with your original thought process, even if the lineup isn't totally there. A-Rod for hitting coach. I would love to have A-Rod in the organization. It would make the Yankees so much smarter. I agree with this. The Yankees should have a sit down with Volpe and go Lou Brown, Willie Hayes on him. Volpe thinks he's a power hitter. Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. Volpe should be fined for every home run fly ball he hits. Well, I mean, he needs to be held accountable. I would fine him for every base that he throws to, which is the wrong move. Every low IQ move that he makes, where he throws to the wrong base, which he does basically on a daily basis. Those kind of things, low IQ moves, I would fine him for, and I guarantee he wouldn't do it again. But then Brian Cashman would fire me for holding him accountable, so. That would be the problem there.
Yeah, he would never survive.
Yeah, Cashman was a 9 right before Cole went down. Now he's a 6.
I mean, that's a little steep, but
it's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to criticize Cashman. The only move that he didn't make at the deadline in the last offseason was to get a third baseman, which is a pretty big move. That is a fireable offense for many organizations to leave an entire base uncovered. But he made the right moves. He made the right pivot after Juan Soto. And I mean, how is he to know that Garrett Cole was going to go down? So, or maybe he did know. That's why he signed Max Fried, which makes him a 9 out of 10. Anyway, I think I'm still going to give him a high grade. I'm looking more elsewhere, like Mike Fishman and Aaron Boone, than Brian Cashman. Even though Brian Cashman is the guy that pulls the puppet strings. I don't think Boston are going to salary dump Bregman. Boston actually have a shot, but who knows? Boston's organization is very weird. We had a slightly subpar first half, and we'll have a 2023 second half. What was the 2023 second half? Wasn't every second half terrible?
Yeah, exactly. So it leads to believe that it's only going to get worse from here, and that I don't see.
Really? Did Butler just get opt out? I don't think so.
See, I think Sean's onto something because he's having a great year. He may opt out and try to get a new deal with the Yankees.
That's possible.
Well,
But
I'll come back
when Tucker is a free agent, and wouldn't you prefer Tucker?
No,
You wouldn't prefer Tucker to Cody Bellinger?
no, because then we'd have to get rid of Dominguez or Jones.
Why? Tucker's a free agent.
Yep, he's outfield, right?
Yeah.
So where you playing him?
Figure it out. I would love to have Kyle Tucker in there, man.
I would too.
If you want a replacement for, we need to bring more stars into this organization. He's a star, and he'd make us forget about Juan Soto very quickly.
I'm saying, we're all saying that we want, we don't want to move on from Dominguez because he's young, he's showing a lot of promise. We don't want to get rid of Jones because he's got all this potential.
Right.
And I think like a Judge or a Dominguez, I think his potential is real. Right? Not a Volpe potential. He's got a Judge potential. I think that's the pendulum he's leaning on. So if you're able to have a Dominguez, Jones, Judge as your outfield alignment, then one of them would have to go to make room for Tucker.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, obviously,
and I'm thinking we're looking way ahead, but that's going to be the reality of it. I'm sorry.
You could consider using. I know Jones looks like an ideal outfielder, but you could consider using Jones as a first baseman.
Well, you better change his position now while there's still time in the minor league season to get him ready.
Yeah,
you have.
That's true. Otherwise,
what are you going to do? Like with Jazz?
Otherwise, you keep your outfield as it is,
and then you try to sign Pete Alonso.
What about trying to sign Pete Alonso in the offseason? I would put big on Pete Alonso. Get a big-time first baseman in there. We need more stars. It's the Yankees.
It's not so much star. I think we just need more competence at each position.
Yeah,
that's what I'm focusing on.
He needs to become a pirate.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love to imagine what he'd be like as a Pittsburgh Pirate. He'd probably be really bad there.
Did you see them making a trade for Suarez, and then rather than going Suarez Gallen, getting Suarez, and then why is
Ron's on a roll today. Let's get into our awards, shall we?
Yes.
Let's do it. So this is our mid-season awards, everybody. Let's do it. Mid-season awards. Here we go. Everybody get ready. I mean, I don't think this is going to take very long. The MVP of this team in the first half, I mean, it's Anthony Volpe. Great minds think alike.
Guys, we do not plan these ahead of time.
Great minds
think alike. That was funny. We both joke about Volpe.
There we go. We know it. That's what Aaron Boone's putting down. You know that Aaron Boone's
he's elite. He's elite.
Anthony Volpe, he's elite, baby.
We don't know baseball. We don't know what we're looking at.
It's very easy.
No, the MVP is Judge. There's no question about it.
No doubt. He's the American League MVP. He's the team's MVP. He's just one and only at this point. Aaron Judge, MVP, all easy, nice and easy. So let's get to the low-key MVP of this mid-season. Uncle Tats, who's your low-key MVP?
I want to go a little outside the box on this one, Donald.
All right, let's do it.
All right. It's very easy to give it to. There are a lot of guys you can give this to. For the first half, I'm going with Rodon. I think this was a year that he had to step up, and I think those first couple of months, him and Fried were really working as such a tandem unit. I think if he doesn't have the start of the year that he did, I think we're in much worse of shape.
You know what's crazy? Because we don't prepare this beforehand. I'm on the same wavelength, but not Rodon. I'm going Max Fried. Max Fried is my low key, but it's basically the same wavelength.
Yeah.
It's basically the Rodon / Max Fried are the reasons why this Yankee team is competitive, because they have saved this rotation. So big shout out to Rodon. Both of them have saved this rotation, saved it due to all the injuries, poor performance. Cookie Cutter Carrasco, dreadful. Stroman has the number of the beast as his ERA right now, which is crazy. We've had a lot of underperformance. Clark Schmidt went down with Tommy John. We lost Luis Gil. We lost Garrett Cole. No problemo, says Max Fried and Rodon. All-star caliber first half. So both of them deserve all the credit in the world. But I'm giving my low-key MVP to Max Fried. The same reasons Uncle Tat said. So we're very much in the same wavelength so far with our awards.
And so, yeah, it seems like, there's a lot of agreements with our choices in the chat as well. Because Stephen Shaw saying Rodon and, saved our bacon. 10 wins for, first half, in the first half, that 10 wins for Rodon, a guy we really had no expectations for.
Right.
Like nobody thought that he was going to be able to do what he was doing. And that is not an argument to take away from Fried. Fried's name's going to come up, I promise. But I thought, kind of like low key, I'm thinking like under the radar, type of, MVP type guy. And to me, that was Rodon. You're saying, and you can't argue against Fried either. You could also put Bellinger in that mix, You could put Goldschmidt and his defense in that mix. Like, there's a lot that goes into it when you're looking at an entire first half.
Exactly. It's been remarkable what they've done. So I couldn't say enough about both of them. They're my low key. Let's go with the clutch award. This one's easy. Cody Bellinger for me. You could make the argument that Cody Bellinger may have saved the Yankees season with that throw against the Mets. Otherwise, the Yankees would have lost that game as well. And God knows where the Yankees would be right now. So they'd be in third place. That's where they would be. Thus, Cody Bellinger, man, he has saved the Yankees bacon. If you want to talk about what, you could make the argument that he would have been the low-key MVP if he wasn't so bad in April and first half of May.
Yeah.
But Cody Bellinger has now rewound himself back to his first year as a Cub, even predating that as a Dodger. That's how good Bellinger has been lately. I haven't given him enough credit because I've been like waiting. I've been like, is this for real? It seems for real. He's been excellent. So.
Well, I think you just hit it on the head, and also Welkin's comment. We weren't sure if it was just a hot streak or this is what we were going to get this year. I think this is going to carry over for the entire season. And the reason I thought he was clutch is the multiple hit streaks and his defense, whether he's in left or center, has been impactful to the team.
Dude, his defense has saved the day, man.
Yeah.
Left field, excellent. Center field, outrageously good.
Mm-hmm.
Right
Even
field.
having to play a game at first base to give it,
every outfield position, chef's kiss. That's so good. 800 OPS, which is crazy good. 280 batting average. And in the modern day, where no one cares about batting average,
you don't see that.
People are happy with a 225. Yeah. Dude's batting 280. Fantastic. Exactly. That's it. That's why I'm talking about the clutch play. I mean, he had the clutch play of the year.
Yep.
Obviously had the 3 home run game, which saved the Yankees, and then the clutch double play that would have saved us from getting swept by the Mets and would have saved us from being third place right now. So, I mean, if you want to talk about the definition of clutch, it's Cody Bellinger, man. With all the problems that the Yankees have had, Bellinger has been everyday player, playing great defense and providing and rewinding the clock in his career to be such a competitive and such a productive and such a good like locker room presence. I think you can tell like he's just a good ball player. He's just good. You know what I'm saying? He's got the fundamentals down. I like his two-strike account. This two-strike account.
Two-strike approach.
Two-strike approach is really, really good. He does what's necessary to get on base. Not enough guys do that. That's why that was a really smart deal. We got him for a steal. He's my clutch guy, and he would be the runner-up for the low-key MVP in many ways too.
Yep.
Uncle Tess, who's your clutch?
No, I'm going. My clutch. I had Bellinger as well. We're both on the same on that one.
Old Saj, what's going on, Old Saj?
Yeah, and don't worry about tripping up your words, all right? Because I did the first 5 to 7 seconds of the show, not realizing I was on mute. So
let's go with the pitching awards. If I'm giving Max Fried,
I have Fried.
I'm probably gonna go with Rodon.
I think when Cole went down and they had and Fried did not have to be our ace. He did not have to carry the weight of the rotation, and he's done it with ease. He's been that guy after a loss. He's only he's won all of his but 2. His ERA is insanely low, especially for such a hitting ballpark like Yankee Stadium. Because with all the short porch, that the Yankees take advantage of, that other teams can't. But no, playing at Yankee Stadium, I think it's hard to have that low of an ERA, because it is a very hitter-friendly park. There are some gaps and shit like that, but I think Fried, in the absence of Cole, has gone above and beyond for this rotation.
Jonathan and me are on the same wavelength here. Fried reminds me of
Pettit. Definitely he's got that Pettit mentality. Yeah.
I think he's even a slightly more dominant Pettit. They're just very similar.
Well, let's see how Fried does in pinstripes in the postseason.
Well, that's it.
That's Pettit could put Cole to shame in the postseason.
For me, if I was to rank like the top 20 Yankees of all time in the history of the franchise, Andy Pettit would be in the top 15 for me. Like, I think he's that good. And just what he did in the postseason alone, and he's my guy. So I'll always love Andy Pettit. Max Fried gives me the same vibes just because he's got the same pickoff motion and the same just kind of like demeanor, like slight anger on the mound. I love that. Just like that intensity on the mound. You don't want to F with them kind of intensity on the mound. So they're very similar in that regard and very crafty. They don't give up many long balls. They're just that good. It's just, is Max Fried as clutch as Andy Pettit? That's the thing. Pettit was clutch.
Isn't it even Sabathia? So let's not, Sabathia's clutch is in that conversation too. The 3 of them, and they're all lefty.
Exactly, Duran. I agree with that. He had the best pickoff move. So best pickoff move in the history of the game. That's the sad thing about Manfred ball is all the wonderful little intricacies about baseball, the little strategies and the intricacies and the talents of knowing how to steal a base and all that stuff. Now it doesn't matter because you've got pizza boxes at the base, or the pickoff move was such a key part of being a pitcher in many ways. That's kind of been taken away because now there's a limit to the amount of times you can throw over. So Manfred ball has kind of ruined these little intricacies of the game, but damn, Pettit's pickoff move is fantastic. Anyway, getting off key. You know what? I'm just going to give the joint award. I originally gave it to Rodon, but I can't really leave out Fried either. I'm going to give both of them it. I think they both deserve it. Fried's the low key. I'm giving the pitching award to both. I do think Rodon does deserve credit. And after talking to Uncle Tats here, I agree. I think Rodon has had such an important part to play. So I'm giving them both an award. Aaron Boone. Right. Aaron Boone. Booney Ball. Booney Ball was so bad.
This is tough.
Booney Ball was so bad that in an all-star game where no one gives a shit, everyone was like, how the fuck?
They were feeling bad for us that we have to deal with him every game.
It's the first time in the history of baseball that people actually have sympathy for the New York Yankees.
So, you know what? That gives him a 0 for the first.
Exactly. You know you have to be bad that basically in an exhibition game, you have to be that bad that for the first time in the history of the organization, where the Yankees are the most hated organization in all of sports, are actually like the most sympathized organization now because of how bad Aaron Boone managed that All-Star game. That's how bad he is. As I say, and I promise, wherever we are as a podcast, when Aaron Boone no longer has a Yankee job, I will buy a bottle of champagne, and it will be a celebration.
Yeah, that will have to be a late night show so we could all party.
Exactly.
Either that or I'll have to take a day off for work.
Sunil's giving him 3. I'm giving him a 0. Absolute 0.
No,
Fuck that guy.
I know.
Do you know what? He's not actually managed that horribly.
I know that's.
It's really the thing that makes me so angry about him is that he's lying and saying that Anthony Volpe is elite because
and the whole Volpe thing.
Disingenuous though, like it's so disingenuous, and you know what that does is actually insults the people that are elite in that dressing room, the Aaron Judges. You know what I'm saying? The Bellingers, heck, the Goldschmidts, the Max Frieds. You know what I'm saying? You can even say Williams, even though this year's not really worked out. He is an elite caliber baseball player. There are elite players in this organization. But Aaron Boone, because he's Barney the dinosaur, has to paint everybody in the same brush. Everybody's elite, which is disingenuous to those that are actually elite. So if Anthony Volpe's elite, what the fuck is Aaron Judge? You know what I'm saying? That's why I despise Aaron Boone and everything that he stands for. It's just insulting. It's disingenuous and it's insulting. You can defend your player, which he has every right to do. I know that's his job, but do it without being disingenuous and without lying. All you have to say is Volpe is... I don't know what you fucking say, but he's not fucking elite! And excuse me. I promise not to get angry.
I'm going to give him a 2. Because I really can't go any higher than that. But they are a wild card team. And there have been, I think the decision to finally put Jazz back at second, I'm going to take that into account. I think that he's, whether we like the decisions game by game or not, keeping the outfield fluid, making sure nobody gets any rust on them. I think he's managed that as best he can. And also, let's not forget his decision. He did not wait to move Williams out of the closer role when he was struggling. He didn't hesitate saying he'll figure it out. He made the switch.
Boone was the one that made the decision to get rid of Jazz out of second base in the first place, and it cost us the 6 weeks that we had, where it made us one of the worst teams in the game. I can't give Boone credit for that. Even Rob would agree, because we did a podcast last week where we're like, hey, we made the right move at once, and then, credit to Rob. Rob was like, well, we were supposed to give him credit for doing something they should never have done in the first place. That's true.
That's true. But at least he didn't wait until August. Not like when he did it with Torres. So yeah, I'm not. I think 2 is even very generous. But I'm going to stick with 2 because I don't think he's made some decisions that have been tough.
I do agree.
They are still in the playoff.
He doesn't have to say Volpe's dog water, but he doesn't have to say he's effing elite either. It's disingenuous. It's a total lie.
Yeah. But yeah, he's not getting above it 2.
Okay, 2 out of 10. As I say, I don't think he's managed that badly. Like if you're looking at him like on an honest grade, you maybe go 4. But the fact is, he's done such a poor job in terms of we're losing to all the teams in the American League East, and we get our asses handed to us by the Dodgers, and basically all the teams that are kind of around us or we look up to. We got trashed by. So I mean, that pretty much tells me that he's not done a very good job. That's 0. Let's go with a more positive grade. I'm going to add a Golden Glove award just for this midseason. The Golden Glove. The Gold Glove. Who's your Gold Glove for this mid-season, Uncle Taz?
Oh. There are 3 guys that are far beyond deserving of it. And those 3 would be Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Judge.
Yep. Amen, amen, amen. Jonathan and
as
Malkin.
You know what? Because I think he deserves recognition. I'm going to give my Gold Glove to Goldschmidt. I think his defense at first has been one of another key reason why we're still slightly above water.
Totally agree. I'm actually going to give you I'd give you the MVP for that. I completely agree with you, man. I'm with you on that. Goldschmidt would have saved. How many errors would he have saved Anthony Volpe this year?
Well, I haven't seen really defense like that at first base since Teixeira.
Right. Welkin's right. Gold has saved so many trash throws from Volpe and third baseman Jazz. The amount of times the Volpe would shot put a throw wide of the first base bag, and Goldschmidt would have to travel up the line in order to make the play, but still make the tag, all in one motion. Just shows how excellent Goldschmidt is. And then you look at Jazz, who was awful at third base, some wild throws, and Goldschmidt was jumping around like Spider-Man to make the plays and still make the tag. And I mean, he would have saved God knows how many errors. I think you'd probably be looking at probably another 15 errors between them easily. That's how much he saved Volpe. Volpe would have like 25 errors this year because he's on 11. Seriously. Goldschmidt has been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful defensively.
All right, what's next on the list?
All right. What's next on the list? Well, I think it's to be, right? We know this one. We love this one.
No, I would save that one for last. Let's get the negatives out of it. Let's end positive.
Oh, you want to end positively? Okay,
yes.
So we're gonna go with the L in that case.
Okay.
Uncle Tats, who's your L?
I'm giving my L to Peraza. I think that he really needs. I wanted him to really stick it to the Yankees when they needed him, and he just hasn't done it with the bat. He had every. I don't know. It's just really. We're gonna have to throw blows after the show, but I really wanted Peraza to take his game to a level and just shove it up the Yankees' ass that they made a mistake.
I mean, I can't argue that he's not hit, but he's been really bad offensively. I'm not going to lie, but defensively, he's been so good.
That's why I'm leaning with the bat. I wanted him to take his hitting to a level where they regretted everything.
I mean, I mean, I'd love to put up a vociferous defense on my boy Peraza because I love Peraza.
I know you don't.
But, yeah,
it was not easy to say that name.
He's not been good. He's not been what I hoped. I mean, he's still better than Volpe, but he's still not what I. He's not what I hoped.
Volpe's coming.
I know. Yeah, dude, I can't argue with you though, bro. I think you're probably on something because it would have been really good if he stuck it to the Yankees. Also, would have made our job a hell of a lot easier. He hasn't stepped
Plus,
up.
I want you to be happy. You waited 5 years for this freaking guy.
True. If he was good offensively, you could make a serious case going, hey, why is he not our shortstop? You know what I'm saying? You know,
Or
he
maybe
could've
we
been-
don't need to. Maybe we
Yeah.
could be more aggressive towards pitching and not third base.
and third base. Yeah, there was. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I wouldn't go as far as to give it an L, but I do see where you're at. Yeah, it's below 150. It can't be accepted. To be fair. Yeah. All right. I'll give you that. My L. It's a tough one. I'm actually kind of going towards Williams. I'm going to edge him towards Williams.
Yeah, he was the guy that was supposed to be. He was signed to not have to, worry about the ninth inning. He was supposed to erase the. He was supposed to erase the emotional scars from Holmes.
Yeah, like he should have locked down the closer role. If he locked down that closer role, we would be in such a better spot. And he's cost us games, very important games. And he brought about this change in facial hair policy, but never stepped up on his end of the bargain. You know what I'm saying? He just doesn't look very happy.
Yeah.
He
looks. He doesn't look like he's having fun.
No. And even when he was asked if he would consider coming back, he'd be like, I'm cool with it. Like I don't think he's just that.
Very nonchalant.
Very nonchalant. But I think he's confident, and I would love to. I would have loved to have seen him become great. I was hoping, and yeah, you know what? I think it's the right call because
that's a good one.
When we were really good in April and May, he was still blowing us games that we couldn't afford to blow because we're inevitably going to have a bad stretch. And I mean, he did kind of save the day a little bit when Weaver went down, but then he's not been great. He's just not been great. 4.58 ERA is just not what we expected. And I would seriously look at trading at the deadline, get some assets in return, and I would consider that.
I mean, that I'm not sure of because we're already trying to find bullpen help. And you've heard me argue this with you for years. I don't trade away a need to get another need in the same spot.
I know what you're saying, but Duran's got a point here.
But if the right offer's there, see ya.
Wouldn't you prefer to get something back in return than losing such an asset for absolutely nothing in the offseason? We got rid of Gleyber Torres for absolutely nothing, and now he's an all-star. I mean, the Yankees can't keep just shedding guys that are very, very talented and very, very good and get no return back. That's just poor management. And that's where we're at with Williams. Williams is very good. He's elite. I think he needs to be in the National League. I would like to try and recoup some assets, and because we need to have an eye on next year too. And I agree. I don't think he'd consider signing here either. I think it would be the right call.
I'm not bringing him back.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. Do you want to keep losing great players for?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I think that's poor asset management, and that's why the Yankees have not. Partly why the Yankees have not won a World Series since 2009 is just because their asset management is very poor. So Williams gets the L for me. Let's go with you know which one this is because Tats wants to end on a positive, so we're gonna follow his opinion. Gonna go with the Aaron Hicks Award. There we go, Aaron Hicks, our mid-season Aaron Hicks Award. Uncle Tats, who is your Aaron Hicks?
If it's anybody but Volpe, you're getting banned from the channel. No.
Absolute cinema.
No, it's Volpe. I mean, come on. He's this year's punching bag. I'm curious to see what happens next year. Like if they move on from Volpe, who are we going to tear apart next? Because we always have one, and it's Volpe this year.
It's Volpe this year, for good reason. Hasn't he broken the record for most people left on base? He's left like 152, probably more than that
if he hasn't broken it, he's getting pretty freaking close.
Yeah, I mean, it was 152 last week, so it's probably more than that now. God knows how many he's left on base. He's so bad. And then the errors and his little shot putt throws. And you know what? It's not just his physical lack of ability. It's his mentality. I don't like it. He's just too. He's a little Aaron Boone. Maybe that's why Aaron Boone adores him so much. He's just like a little Aaron Boone. He's just like, I do it again. Oh, God. I would like him, and I would not hate on him so much if he was a lot more accountable, if he was a lot tougher, instead of being so entitled. He's an entitled little dude. Like, instead of being so entitled, like going, I need to be better. This is the Yankees. I adore this organization. I will do anything to become the player to make my fans happy. Instead, he's sort of like, I'd make that throw again. Well, another loss. It's cool. Loss of the loss. I hate that so much. It drives me insane.
Yeah. You know what? I think for the chat, we are going to squeeze this one in really quick because I am on a little bit of a time crunch, but I think it's warranted. A bullpen award.
God, I couldn't.
And I know who it's going to be. I have mine already.
Okay, go for it.
I'm going to mine to Fernando Cruz.
Yeah,
I think even though he's hurt right now, he's working on his way back. But I think that he has kind of been the surprise of the bullpen. We always have one where we don't see that guy coming. Even though he's had success elsewhere, to bring that to the Yankees, we don't see that in the pen too often. So I think Cruz to me is I think he earned it.
I agree with that, but I'm actually probably going to. I do think Cruz is the one, but I'm also edging towards Tim Hill because Tim Hill is never.
He's so reliable.
He's very reliable, and he's always coming into tough spots and getting the Yankees out of it because he doesn't give up any hard contact.
What has he got? A 97% success rate with the bases loaded?
Yeah. I'm going to go with Tim Hill.
You cannot do that either.
Excuse me. Even though Cruz is a much better player, and Cruz has been fantastic, and he's been their best performer, it's just Tim Hill. I mean,
there's something special about Hill.
It's just because he's just so reliable, and he just doesn't give up hard contact. He manages to induce ground balls all the time, and has saved the Yankees' skin because you wonder, like, if the Yankees used anybody else more than Tim Hill in those situations, what would happen? It would be not good. So I'd probably give it to Tim Hill, but a good guess with a good shout out with Fernando Cruz. Yes, I mean, Uncle Tats, I agree. Anthony Volpe's the Aaron Hicks Award. He does nothing well, and it drives me insane. So let's end on a positive, because Uncle Tats wants a positive, so we'll give it a positive. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. Who's your boy, Blue, Uncle Tats?
For me, in the first half, Ben Rice. Yeah. I'm my boy Ben Rice. You want him to DH? No problem, coach. Play first? No problem, coach. Catch? No problem, coach. He has just been a guy that we would really hope, we wanted to rally around, and he gives us every reason to do it. So Ben Rice, first half, I wanted to give it to Dominguez. I really did. But I think when you look at the challenge to even keep Rice in a lineup game in, game out, and every time they figure it out to get him in there, he does something. So I'm going with Ben Rice.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also have to get Dominguez in there as well.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to make sure I mentioned Dominguez's name because he did earn some.
How do I differentiate? I really can't because Ben Rice has been so vital, so vital. And he's so good. But I'm going to give it to Dominguez. I think Dominguez is our boy Blue. He's had multiple 4-hit games. He's just a great player. He's crushing it, and he's making Aaron Boone's job difficult, which is great because he's been so good. You can't possibly sit him. But I agree with Uncle Tats. So you know what? On this occasion, I'm going to add another award and go with the Most Improved Player award, and that's what I'm giving to Ben Rice. He is the most improved player. Uncle Tats, who would be your most improved player?
I see. This is where I appreciate this because it gives me a chance to give Dominguez some love. I love.
There we go. It made it easy. I had to come up with an award on the fly. It was like,
no, I think because Dominguez being moved to left field, it was almost like the organization was setting him up to fail, and I don't think he's failed. Has it been easy for him in left? No, I'm not blind. But you saw what he's been able to do with some consistent play. And I think if they could just keep him left all year, enough of this move in the center because that's his natural position.
Yep.
I think him in left is really giving you such an opportunity to have a dynamic outfield next year. And he's just going to continue to improve on it.
I do think that Dominguez is a center fielder, but he's held his own. He's getting a little bit better.
But because I want Jones for center. That's why that's the only reason I'm leaving him in left.
It's all about his bat.
Yeah,
Dominguez's bat has been awesome. But he has improved massively because he was such a problem last year in left. So he has improved, even though metrics aren't good. He hasn't really cost us in left field. Dominguez for me. So I agree, man. I think we did a good job covering all the bases right there. Uncle Tez, what was your favorite moment of the season?
Ooh, if it's got to be the shoestring catch.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's something that can really. I think that just kind of changed the look of the team, even though it was still a couple games out from the All-Star break. It was such a huge play, and it involved, it also highlighted Goldschmidt. Like I said, Goldschmidt had to have the baseball IQ to stay, to be at first base, and not just assume that it was just gonna, just be lobbed in. So I thought it was such a high baseball IQ type play from Bellinger and Goldschmidt that I still get amped up thinking about it.
The one time that I really loudly celebrated was when Judge hit that clutch home run, but we still lost. Remember that dramatic
Boston series?
Wasn't it Boston?
Yep, it was against Crochet. We ruined his complete game shutout.
That's right.
Which he did get his next start. I think it was 2 starts later.
For me, that was the moment of the season, and it still came in a loss. But that was the moment of the season for me. I was like, absolutely, that was incredible. It was just like that's what Aaron Judge is all about, and it's also what the Yankees are all about. That they still managed to lose it. But that for me was the moment of the season. Aaron Judge's home run there. Well, I think that does it for the awards for the midseason.
Yep, and we appreciate everybody that hung out with us so far this first half of the year. You guys really do keep this machine going and keep this family growing. So we appreciate every single one of you. We will be back on Monday. We'll be getting back into more baseball games as baseball returns tonight. We appreciate the All-Star schedule for giving us a chance to focus on some first half highlights and comments without the distraction of a ball game. But I am very happy to hear that baseball is coming back. We'll be in Atlanta. So we will break down the Braves series Monday morning with me, Donald, and Rob. So make sure you tune into that Monday, 10 a.m. live as always. So with that, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out, your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. And as we always like to say, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.
Let's go, guys.